Hi, huge movie fanatic Nate coming at you with a continuation of my Godzilla movie reviews. I'm coming at you today with a review for Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Now, like I say, I haven't seen every Japanese kaiju movie by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm assuming this is the first appearance of Ghidorah in movies in motion picture history. If not, it's the first appearance of Ghidorah in a Godzilla movie. But I'm assuming it's the first appearance of him in general. This movie isn't, I don't particularly think is that great. It does feature four flippin' monsters though, so it might be the most monsters in a Godzilla movie yet, and you'd think, wow, this is gonna be great. But it's not necessarily so great. It's really kind of goofy. In the opening credits are, oh, I should mention, by the way, I have this on like I have some of the other ones I previously reviewed on the Classic Media DVD. They came out in 2006 or 7 or something like that, which features the original Japanese version or the English version. Of course, all I watch is original Japanese. So I'm reviewing the original Japanese version of this version of this movie. And the opening credits are just goofy with like just fighting you'll see later on in the movie with Rodan and Godzilla, and it's like and they'll just freeze, on a goofy thing, and Rodan will be like it'll just freeze it, and it's just like it starts off on a kind of a goofy, as far as I'm concerned, a bad goofy note, like just goofy. So the movie starts with like these people, astronomers or something, on a rooftop or something, watching like for meteors or something, and it's like, oh boy, watching for meteors. And I think it features the same reporter girl who was in Mothra versus Godzilla, the one I kind of commented on as kind of cute. Of course, I like Asian girls, in addition to all kinds of other girls. So I think it's her. It's hard to tell, like I say, when you're Caucasian to look at Asians, but I think I think it's her. So at any rate, it's same kind of. If it's not her, it's the same kind of character as, I'm sure it's her. So it's like I don't really, I haven't seen this for a while, but I don't remember a whole lot. But I remember they're looking up in telescopes at the beginning at all these meteors, and one ends up coming down. I think the beginning of this movie is basically all about this one meteor comes down and crashes, which, spoiler alert, ends up being Ghidorah travels to the Earth in this meteor, much like George Pell's War of the Worlds, kind of. And then they set out on an expedition to go and find it, and they camp around it, and every now and then it becomes magnetic, and their little tools will get sucked and cling to the meteor and stuff. And at the same time, we cut back and forth between this princess. The princess, this pretty hot princess, attractive Asian woman, and playing this princess part is pretty cute and hot and attractive. Not hot, but just cute and attractive. Well, I guess she's hot. Kind of. I mean, whatever. She's attractive. Plays this princess who we get introduced to at the very beginning, and there's this plot to kill her because for some reason I can't remember. So what ends up happening pretty much when we introduce her is some alien contacts her in the plane, and she jumps out, and the alien saves her just right before the plane blows up, and she ends up becoming like possessed. The people from these aliens from Venus, who I don't think we ever see in any version except for taking, they manifest in the body of this princess, so completely wipes her mind, and she becomes a spokesperson for the Vena, they have a word, I don't think it's a real word, I don't know. If people are from Venus, then obviously they're Venusians or whatever, Venetians. So like Martians, it's like Venetian. So basically she probably loses all her clothes and stuff like that, jumping out of this plane and being saved by the Venetians. So she ends up showing up later, a little bit later, in these clothes that she bought or, somehow got from this homeless guy. Which is kind of cool, seeing like this really attractive woman in these shadowy old clothes. I don't know why. Maybe I have a fetish about seeing women in homeless person's clothes, but I mean attractive women in homeless person's clothes. Maybe that's a new fetish that I created, but she's just, I don't know, normally you see a beautiful woman all decked out like she is in the beginning and all this jewelry and gowns and crap. It's just kind of cool to see what a beautiful woman looks like in a homeless person's clothes, because you never really see a homeless beautiful person. So she appears every now and then giving speeches about this and that, and we must do this. She's basically, the Venetian is talking through her. I can't remember what the hell the Venetian's saying. If they're warning about Ghidorah, I don't know. At the same time, you know, Rodan comes alive, and actually they screw up briefly because they actually have, like, when Rodan takes flight for the very first time in the movie, and actually they put a Godzilla sound in there accidentally, like a Godzilla. And it's like, oh my god, talk about sloppy. So they actually put a Godzilla, you know, vocal noise for Rodan. It's like, give me a break, you know. And so the campers are camped around the meteor, which they don't know features Ghidorah in it, and somehow Ghidorah manifests into this animation and then, you know, materializes. And like I say, Ghidorah, I mean, I haven't said it yet, but like I'm gonna say right now, Ghidorah is pretty classic Godzilla character and design and stuff. Unfortunately, his first, you know, appearance or Godzilla appearance isn't that. I mean, in this movie, I mean, his first movie really isn't that, you know, particularly amazing. You know, it's just like, oh, and then he appears. I can't remember in what order what happens, but I think Godzilla and Rodan end up meeting up, and yeah, I think this is how it goes. They end up fighting, and they do this thing which is featured in some other movies later on, Godzilla movies, where this just hilarious, where they'll play like basketball or volleyball with a big stone, you know, and it'll be like Rodan will like hit it with his head, and Godzilla, I don't know if he hits it with his head, you know, and it's just like, and Mothra shows up to the Mothra larva. The Mothra only appears in this movie as a larva, and the Mothra comes to try to talk Godzilla and Rodan into fighting, teaming up to defeat Ghidorah. So there's this scene where Rodan and Godzilla are playing huge stone volleyball, and Mothra's like, and the Mothra lover watches as the big stone gets headbutted back and forth. I mean, I like that stuff on a stupid, you know, stupid kind of a what the hell's going on, you know, aspect. But overall, the movie is not particularly interesting. It has key moments like that, and of course, you know, like when I was a kid, like always. I mean, I pretty much just, I don't think I necessarily fast forwarded to the end, but I know that once, you know, I'd probably watch a movie once when I was a kid, but once it got to the end, I'd probably keep it at the end and rewind it to the beginning of the end and just watch the end monster battle when I was a kid. I don't do that now because, I don't know, as an adult, I generally watch a movie from the beginning to end. I don't really just go in and necessarily watch a part of it anymore, but I'm gonna go 1 3/4 stars. It's one of the weaker like Toho scope and color Godzilla movies. I don't think it's as bad. No, I don't think it's as bad as King Kong versus Godzilla, which is really down there. It's like I say, that's probably one of the worst in my opinion. So Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, I think that's pretty much it to save time. Not that time needs saving. That pretty much does it for Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Oh, before I end, you know, like I say, I think I said in the last, you know, Godzilla review, the Mothra versus Godzilla, is that one of the things I really don't like is bad humans in these movies. So obviously you have these guys throughout the movie trying to kill the princess, and it's just like whatever. And of course the cute Mothra little twin girls are in this movie, and I think it's the same ones from the previous movie, Mothra versus Godzilla. One of the things I was kind of not too impressed by is there's they sing the same song twice in this movie, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of dumb. You know, why not just? And it might be, don't quote me, but it might be one of the songs from a previous movie. So if we've heard it before, why do we got to hear it twice? But whatever. I mean, the little the little Mothra girls are always cute, and just like the last movie, done relatively well optically. I wouldn't say it's, yeah, I can't remember exactly. So I think that pretty much does it for my Ghidorah, the three-headed monster review. Thank you very much for watching, and wish me luck in my continuing quest to rewatch and review every single Godzilla movie in 2014. We'll see if I can do it. Thanks for watching.